Welcome back. Well, Florida State College at Jacksonville and Bank of America have announced a new $1 million jobs initiative for local students of color. Now, this $1 million will go to help these students successfully complete their education and training necessary to enter the workforce. The initiative builds on Bank of America's ongoing work in Jacksonville to address underlying issues facing communities of color who've been disproportionately impacted by the pandemic. I spoke about it with John Avendano, Ph.D., president at FSCJ, and Greg Smith, the Jacksonville market president at Bank of America. Dr. Avendano, Greg Smith, good to talk to both of you. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Good morning. Exciting news for FSCJ, Florida State College at Jacksonville. In a moment, we'll hear from Dr. Avendano about how this $1 million will be used for the jobs initiative in this community. But first, Greg Smith, let me begin with you as market president for BOA here in Jacksonville. Explain, if you could, a little bit why the bank is putting its resources behind this initiative, not just in Jacksonville, but around the country.
Well, this past year there's been so much social unrest, and with the COVID virus affecting our minority communities even more harshly than the general population, we fully recognize that jobs are such a critical pillar to address the racial wealth gap in Jacksonville and around the country. So we're focusing our support on local Black, African American, and Hispanic Latino students in the community. And we've had a long-standing partnership with Florida State College. So it was a natural fit for us to reach out to them to put together a partnership. And we're making $1 million investment and partnering with Florida State College to help those students of color get through a certificate or a college degree in an area where there will be jobs on the other end coming out. So it's a very specific, targeted program, and we're just delighted to work with Dr. Avendano and his team.
Well, Dr. Avendano, this is very exciting for FSCJ. With this $1 million donation, you say you're going to enhance existing programs to meet specific skills gaps to work on creating higher paying jobs. This will be for students of color. What are some of the programs this $1 million will enrich at FSCJ?
Yeah, absolutely. First, I would be remiss if I didn't start by thanking Greg Smith and Bank of America for their investment really across the entire country, but then obviously for us here at the local level, because I think that's what's critical and what's beneficial for not only the college, but for our community as a whole. And that is that it's an investment in our community, right? This is an investment in citizens in our community that need or can use that support to move them into higher wage paying jobs and have that opportunity to be strong contributors to our economy and strong contributors to our community as a whole. And so what we're looking at are programs specifically in those areas, those programs that can yield a higher wage paying type job. So programs in business and finance. We're looking at programs in healthcare. We're looking for programs that are in automation and some of our career programs, career and technical education programs. So more specifically, you'll find some things in automation. We'll find some things in computer-aided design, even welding. But then also, like I said, in banking and finance and things along that nature. So those are the programs, but it's more than just enhancing the programs. It is reaching out into our communities that have really a void in them, either through access and or financial support to get into these programs and to be successful. So in addition to expanding our programs, we'll be adding the wraparound services that these students will need to be successful. And then the idea is obviously to have a job on the other end for them. And so that's our ultimate goal.
Right. I mean, Greg, this is all about jobs. This is all about getting people to work. This community, like everyone around the country, has been suffering and struggling in this pandemic, and the pain is real. You just can't even imagine how tough it's been for so many people in our area. And so if you could talk a little bit about why you're specifically focusing on community and state colleges and also HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities, with this donation.
Yes, we identified that the state colleges, historically black colleges, those institutions were doing already a good job in those areas of helping those students in need, those young people in need. So as we look to partner with those around the country, we just think that's the biggest opportunity to kind of move the dial. So we look forward to working with Florida State College. We really think that with the partnering with our Jax Chamber, other businesses, that we can really make a difference with helping identify the jobs. As Dr. Avendano was stating, that it's critical that we train young people in areas where there is a job need. And when you look at the graduation rates for young people in the Black and Latino community, it's lower than other groups. And by doing these type of targeted programs, we can help bring those young people into jobs more quickly.
Yeah, Dr. Avendano, what about that? According to a release from FSCJ, less than 40% of community college students earn their degree within 6 years of enrollment. For students of color, the rates are lower, 28% for black students, 37% for Hispanic students. How will this Bank of America support, as you said, give rise to more wraparound services for kids and non-traditional older students so that they can get to the finish line, that they can get to graduation, get their certificate or their degree, and then get to work?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And so what most people are not really familiar with is that community colleges are open access institutions. And so in doing so, we provide that access, we provide that opportunity for students who normally wouldn't have that. Community colleges, if you will, with air quotes, which we are. I mean, we're a state college, but we still serve our community. We tend to find those students, we tend to serve those students who have other obstacles. There are financial obstacles, there are family obstacles, there are work obstacles, other things that kind of complicate their journey towards that ultimate goal from an education or from a training standpoint. So, and that's why you see quite often students of color having more challenges, right? Because of either they have lower wage paying jobs or financially it's a little bit more of a challenge for them. And again, this is where the beauty of the grant from Bank of America is that it's targeting those groups to provide them kind of that hand up and that additional support that they might need. And so that's what we'll do. We're also looking towards our educational foundation to provide additional resources from a financial aid standpoint. So in essence, we're already, the most affordable option that people will have. But we want to make it even more affordable, right? We want to make it to a point where a student graduates into a program, certificate, or even carry on to another degree program where there's a good wage-paying job, but also to be able to do that without any debt, right? And I think that's the key component to that. And so that's part of, the wraparound services that we would be providing. We'll do this through enhanced technology that will be made available to students who might need it, especially in a time like this where the COVID is still very rampant in our community and maybe it's a little safer at home, if you will. These are some of the wraparound services along with advising, career counseling, understanding the job market that's out there for them and what that all means for them to be successful. At the end of the day, our goal is to help all students be successful. And for some, it may take a little longer. For some, it takes a little longer than 6 years, which is what the data suggests. What we're wanting to do with this program is push that data aside and really impact them more immediately and get them to that finish line much more quickly.
And Greg, as Dr. Avendano said, in this pandemic, community colleges have become even more important because students can get their skills on a fast-track basis or learn a new skill, change careers. We're about to have a first lady who's a community college professor. And so community colleges have really stepped to the forefront in the midst of these challenging times.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. And if you look, one of the goals that we really strive for at our company is to really celebrate diversity and inclusion and to have a workforce that reflects the community that we all live in. So when you have a college like Florida State College with its multiple campuses that can reach out to so many in our community, and they're embracing new technologies so they can teach students online, they can really reach into those populations. And with our 8,000 associates working here in Jacksonville, we want a healthy pipeline of young people that match our community, that are folks that we can bring into our company. We put a strong emphasis on hiring who are targeted towards a minority population. And we start all of our folks with a wage of $20 an hour. So we think that's a living wage. We think that young people that have strived to work hard to get a job should have a living wage. So working with Florida State College is really kind of our perfect partner, what we're trying to achieve here in Jacksonville.
So with all of that said, Dr. Avendano, how can prospective students access this new opportunity?
So what we're looking to do, we're in the process right now of establishing a staff that's going to be in this program. We've identified a number of the programs, as I mentioned earlier. We hope to do, we've had the announcement, the PR aspect of it, the importance of that. Now we're going to structure the outreach into our communities. So what I would ask our communities to be on the lookout, we will be very intentional of letting people know how to access this program. The fact that Bank of America is making this possible for everybody in our community. And we will put out a marketing campaign related specifically for this so that they know that they're entering into a program with positive outcomes and an intention of helping them graduate and be successful in our community. So I would expect that to kind of roll out in the next month or two. And we'll get that in line for hopefully as early as the start of the summer term, if not before.
All right, some good news to start off the new year. Thanks, guys, for being with us. John Avendano, Ph.D., President at FSCJ, and Greg Smith. He's Jack's Market President at Bank of America. Thanks to you both.